This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, you can hear me, right? So, team, Subhendu, Siddharth, Ashwin, Sasidhar. Okay,
Yes,
audible?
yes, we can hear you.
Okay, fine. Okay, so brief introduction about myself. So, I am Sheikh Riyazuddin. Basically, I have about 10 years of experience in SAP. In MDG, I have near about 6 years of experience. I worked on the multiple implementation project across all the governance model the SAP has provided out of the works, basically business partner, materials, and finance model. Basically, worked on that. And as per the training is concerned, I have delivered at most 4 corporate trainings for EYs, CGI, Schlumberger, Atos already provide the trainings, multiple batches provided trainings basically, MDG is concerned. Okay, so this is all about me, team. So team can anyone can start introducing yourself so that you can know each other and you can start the session. Starting from Ashwin, can you please introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Ashwin. I'm from Boston, US. I have about 17 years of experience in SAP, and I work for a defense company. So I work in the materials management area. So.
Oh, great, thank you. Sasidhar, next, can you please introduce yourself? Sasidhar, you are mute, I think. Okay, Subhendu, can you start?
Yeah, hello, this is Shubhendu. Basically, I guess Shashidhar has an issue with his mic, I guess. So that's the
Okay,
reason he can't speak right now.
okay, fine. Okay, fine, no issues. Subhendu, you can start.
Yeah, hello, this is Shubhendu, and even I'm from West Online Career actually. With the Pallavi, same thing. Even I just wanted to attend the session today to get to know what is the exact MDG and all.
Fine, fine. Thank you. Siddharth, can you please? Okay, team, let's start. Let's start. Okay, let me know once you'll see my screen so that, okay, can you make me a Pallavi, can you make me presenter? Pallavi, can you please make me presenter so that I can share my screen?
Yes, yes. Yes, now you are organizer.
Okay, fine. Okay, so so these are the course of structure we designed for completely MDG training. So SAP has provided 2 trainings. One is MDG 100, one is MDG 200. MDG 100 is general, basically is overview of MDGs, what is finance, material, customer, BP, and different concept of MDG basically is. Okay, and MDG 200 is basically for configuration customizing, both for functional consultant, they do that configuration customizing. So completely end to end basically SAP is provided basically. So our course is designed by combining both 100 and 200. So you can get to know both configuration customizing and also the how to work on all the modules basically, basically material, customers, finance, all the things basically. Okay. So this is the course of structure. So first of all, we need to discuss MDG basis overview, architecture overview, and deployment options basically. Then next topic will be data modeling. So data modeling, will see that what are the out of box SAP has provided standard data model. Okay, so what is material master, what is business partner, what is finance data model SAP is provided. Okay. The next is basically user interface modeling, basically known as UI modeling. So we'll see that how the UI was designed in MDG basically is. Okay, so user interaction necessary, basically how to we're going to create a material, how they are going to create a customer, all the things master data basically is. So next is process modeling. We'll define the process basically. So how to create a change request, how to work on the workflows, rule-based workflow, all the concepts we'll see here basically is part of process modeling. The next topic will be data quality and search. So here we'll see how to configure the enterprise search, HANA search, different kind of search SAP has provided. Okay, and how to work on the duplicate check basically. We'll see that. The next concept is data replication framework. So here we'll see that how you are going to replicate data from one system to other system. Basically, is if you have multiple connected system, how to move the data from one system to other system basically. Okay. The next is data import framework. So import framework means how we are going to load the data to MDG system basically. Is okay. Initial load basically. Okay. So how we are going to move the data, inbound data from other system to MDG system. Basically. We'll see that. So next is key mapping, value mapping. This concept arises when you have a different key and different value mapping between the source and target system basically. Okay, so on that case, key mapping, value mapping arises. Then we have MDG APIs and body validation, filter class validation, BRF validation. Each for technical consultants. So if they want to write a code basically based upon the client requirement, they want to make certain mandatory or gray out or any kind of client requirement basically. Okay. SAP provide a different way, different methodologies to work on the requirement. We can have a body validation, filter class validation, BRF validation, okay, all the things we have. Okay, so next will be standard workflow, rule-based workflow basically. This is the part of process modeling. We'll see how to design the workflow completely, okay. So not a single line of code, only configuration kind of things we need to do. Complete configuration, how to configure complete end-to-end workflow basically is MDG. Okay. The next will be real-time scenarios. Okay, so we'll completely, it is basically practical session basically. It's okay, we'll go through all the real-time requirement. So 10 to 12 real-time requirement I'll show you basically. Okay, hands-on. Okay, and this is the course of structure I designed for MDG. A total duration will be 35 to 40 hours basically, and per day 2 hours you can plan like that. Okay, fine. So any question, team, anyone clear? Okay.
Are you going to take exactly the amount you mentioned, or would it be more extended, like based on like making sure people understand the concepts, like like some practice sessions, things like that?
40 hour, no, 40 hours is sufficient for that. Even practice all the things will do that. 40 hours is sufficient enough basically.
Okay.
Okay, fine. So let's start. Let's start. So what is MDG basically? Okay, so MDG basically is known as master data governance, right? Master data governance. So in SAP we have different kinds of data are there. One is master data, one is transitional data, right? So master data, one is transitional data, right? So now what are the master data we have? We have material master, material master, material master, master, customer master, master, vendor master, master. We have business partner. We have cost center, finance data we have, right? Cost center group, cost center group, cost center hierarchies, right? We have profit center. We have profit center group, profit center hierarchies. We have GL account, right? We have company code. Okay, we have different things, FRS, financial reporting structure, lots of things we have, right? So these are the master data we have, right? So what are the transaction data we have? We have basically purchase order, we have basically sales order, right? We have production order basically, okay? So different types of transaction data we have. So whenever we are going to create any purchase order, right, we need a master data information. We need a material master data and vendor master, right? By using this, we are going to create a PO. So whenever you are going to create a sales header, we need material master and customer information we need, right? These two. So whenever you are going to create any transactional data, we need the material master data, right? By using the master data, you are going to create transactional data. So MDG only deals on the master data. We are not dealing with any transactional data basically. Okay. So MDG is a process to deal with the master data. So now, what is MDG? So what normally ECC basically, suppose you got a requirement to create a material master, a customer, a vendor basically, right? So SAP has given the T code basically. We need to navigate to the T code. Example, material master, we have a MM01 T code, right? Can you go on mute? Okay, fine. So suppose you are going to create a material master, there might be SAP has given some T code, MM01 T code. You need to go to the T code. You enter the material information, material type, industry sector, all the mandatory fields, material base unit measure, material type, lots of information. Enter that. The moment you click on the save button, right, data directly save on the backend table. We know that Mara, Marci, Madi, different tables we have. Okay. So even for customer or vendor, basically some T code SAP has given, or BP, some SK01, HD01 T code they have given, right? The moment you enter the customer information or vendor information, moment you enter that, then you click on save button. The moment we click on the save button, data directly save on the backend table. There no governance are there. No one is going to govern them. Okay, suppose you are going to create a material, you enter the data and save it. So no one is going to govern them basically. So now with MDG, what SAP say? Any operation you are going to perform as part of master data, either you create or change or block or delete or any operation, file upload or mass change, mass processing, any operation you are going to perform as part of master data, it should go to the workflow driven process. Might be there might be someone who is going to approve your changes basically. Okay, suppose you are the requester, right? Request is the person initiate the process basically. Is going to create a material or change a material basically, right? Once requester enter the data, then they click on the submit button, right? So when they click on the submit button, it will go to the workflow driven process. There might be someone who is going to review the changes done by the requester basically. Once they find every changes is correct or every change is fine, then they will send to final approver. Might be the final approver will be there who is going to approve the final changes basically, right? So once final approver approve the changes, then the data stored on the backend table. Okay, so here we have a concept of one. Suppose you are the requester, right? Requester. One is the reviewer. One is approver. Okay. So requester is a person who initiate the process. He is going to create a material, or change a material, okay, or any operation you want to process, right? So now once he maintains all the changes basically, he click on the submit button, might be it will go to the reviewer. A reviewer might be some person who is going to review the changes made by the requester basically. Once he review the changes, everything is correct. Or if you want to modify something, reviewer might want to modify something, add additional information supposed to that existing material, they can do that. Okay. So once reviewer done that, then they click on the submit button, go to approver. Approver is the final person who is going to approve the changes basically. Once approver approves the changes, then the data stored on the backend table known as, if you're going to have material master, we have a Mara, Marci, Mardi table we have, right? Marci table we have, Mardi table. But till then, up to this, data stored on the staging area, what is called staging area. Staging area is nothing but a temporary storage area where the data are stored temporarily till the final approver approve the changes basically. Once the final approver approve the changes, then the data will move from the staging area to actual ECC backend table basically. Okay, actual ECC backend table. This is the process of governance basically. Okay, in normal basically, if you're going to create a material, we have a T code, MM01 T code. The moment you enter the data and click on the submit button, data directly save on the backend table. So there no one is governing them. Okay, might be it is critical data, right? So the customer bank information just change that, someone by mistake change some information, directly impact on your business basically. But with MDG, so what SAP say, every master data you are going to create, change, delete, any operation you want to perform, you should go to the workflow driven process basically. So there might be someone, a requester, might be reviewer or approver basically. Once all the person approve the CR, then the data will move from this layer to this layer basically. This is a staging area. Staging area is nothing but a temporary storage area where the data is stored temporarily till the final approver approve the CR. Once final approver approve the changes, then the data will move from the staging area to actual ACC backend table. Once the data is here, then PO team will use that material to create a purchase order or sales order. They use that material. So till the data is in staging area, you cannot use this data of creation of purchase order because it is inactive data basically. It's data in inactive state. So you cannot use your changes basically for creation of purchase order and thing. So once the data is moved to the active layer, okay, active area, then using that data, we are going to create all your transfer data basically. Okay, this is known as governance basically. This is known as governance. So in MDG, we have different principle we have, right? The first principle is basically known as governance. Governance means, so any operation you are going to perform as part of master data is to go to the workflow driven process. All the approver approve the changes, then the data will move from the staging area to actual ECC backend table where data stored permanently basically. This is known as governance. First principle known as governance. Okay, so now next is basically consistency. Okay, consistency. So what is consistency? So in ECC, right, we have different T code, right? From MM0 material, we have MM01, right? MM02, we have MM03, different T codes we have, right? For customer, we have XD01, we have XD02, we have XD03, we have, right? For vendor, we have XK01, we have XK02, 02, 02, we have SK03. So every master data you are going to perform, right? For create separate T code is there, for change separate T code is there, block different T code is there, delete different T codes, lots of transaction code are there, right? So vendor also different T codes we have. Customer also different T code we have. BP also different T code we have. Cost center different T code. Cost center group different T code. Hierarchy different T code. All lots of T codes we have, right? So, but whenever you are going to use MDG basically, okay, we don't have to use so much T code. Okay, we have only one T code known as NWBC. Okay, NWBC or Fury basically nowadays you are using class N slash UI2. One second. N slash UI2 slash FLP. Okay, basically by using these two T codes, we are able to create all the master data basically. We'll see now how we are going to do that. Okay, so now see this thing. This is a normal ECC system. Normal ECC system where your actual ECC system you have, right? So now MDG is nothing but a patch, a software component we are going to install on the top of the ECC. Backend is always ECC, right? So MDG is nothing but a patch or software component basically we are going to install on the top of the ECC. So now suppose this one, this is MDG component, MDG. Now this is ECC, right? ECC. Okay. So now MDG separate licensing is there. We need to procure from SAP. We need to add that. Okay. So once MDG we have, then there's a concept of staging area arises. So here we have the concept of staging area. Staging area. Staging area, right? So now, so all the T code which are responsible for creation of master data. Okay. So previously you're using these T codes, right, to create a master data. All the T code that you are using to create the master data here, that T code we should not provide any authorization in production environment basically. Okay, from once MDG was in go live, all the T codes is responsible for creation master data. We need to block the authorization. We should not provide any authorization to any of the users because we have only two T codes basically, NWBC, Net Waiver Business Client or Fury T code. By using these two T codes basically, we are going to create all the master data basically, right? So now, so once MDG is in place, we have the concept of staging area. So once you are going to create any master data, it will go to the workflow driven process. Once final approval approves, data from the staging area move to the ECC table. We have a Mara table. We have a Mara table here. Mara table. We have a Marcy table. We have different tables we have, right? Or KN1, KNB1, LF1, lots of tables we have, right? So now, so consider this is a hub deployment. We have two kinds of deployment strategy in MDG. One is hub deployment, one is co-deployment. One is hub deployment, one is co-deployment. Okay, so now, so what is hub deployment? So in case of hub deployment, MDG is considered as a complete separate system, separate box where only master data operation take place. You are not running a business here, no transaction data activities we are going to run here. So generally company maintain complete separate system where only the master data operation take place. They want to create, change all the master data activities they are going to create in only one system basically. Okay, so this is known as MDG as a hub deployment. So in case of hub deployment, master data is a completely separate system where only master data operation take place. Okay, once master data will be created here, then it will go to the governance process. Then the data will be replicated from here to here. One final approval, approve the CR, right? Then we can have other connected system. Might be this is one connected system. This is one connected system. This might be ECC system. This might be CRM system. They need master data. This might be SRM system, right? This can be non-SAP system. The different system we can connect to MDG basically, right? So this might be normal ECC. This might be SRM system. This might be CRM system. This might be non-SAP system. Non-SAP system. Okay. So now, so once master data will be created here and move to here basically, then our job is to move the data from here to here basically, right? That is done through data replication framework, that is concept known as data replication framework. Okay, so now we have different concept. We have IDOC is there, or we can configure web service. Basically, it's web service. Okay, so these are the two data replication framework. Generally, we are using a real time to move the data from this layer to this layer basically, right? So once master data will be created here, then data will be available on here in this ECC layer. Once the data will be available here, then we need to configure the data replication framework so that the moment data is available here, it will be replicated to ECC system or SRM system or CRM system, non-SAP system basically, right? What they need basically. So previously, if you are creating any of the master data, any of the system basically, we need to block the authorizer. Now, no master data will be created on this system because we have MDG system, this centralized system, basically where master data will be created and operated here. It is a single version of truth where master data will be created and maintained here, right? So any of the T code who is responsible for creating master data in all of the system, we need to block the authorizer because we have MDG is in place basically. MDG is a centralized system where master data will be created and maintained here basically. Once master data will be created and maintained here, then it will move to the workflow driven process. Then all the person approve the CR, then the data will be available in the backend table, right? Once the data is available here, then we need to configure the data replication mechanism. So now, then if this system needs material data, we can send that. If this system needs only customer data, we can send that. If this system needs only vendor data, we can send that, right? We can send that. So that is known as, this complete principle is known as MDG as a hub deployment. Basically, MDG as a hub deployment. Because the hub deployment, MDG is considered a complete separate box where master data will be created and operated here. And for transactional activities, we have completely separate system. They're here on this system. We are not creating any master data here. If they need master data, we need to move from here to here to DRF basically. This is known as governance. Team, clear on this? Any question you have? Anyone? Clear? Okay. So now, so next is basically say this. So team, so next one basically, so next is basically consistency, right? Consistency I have told you. So any of the T code generally we are using previously, that T code we should not provide any authorization, right? All the authorization for this T codes to be blocked. So only two T codes are there. Either we are using NWVC or Fury tiles basically to create master tiles. So how these things is controlled by these two T codes, I'll show you. Let me open the system. I'll show you basically. Okay, so now what is the T code? NWBC, right? NWBC. So now if I click the enter button, it will open some web page basically. Let me open web page. Okay, fine. So now you see this. One second. Got the password. Let me 1 second do that. So guys, just a second. Let me change the password. Fine. So now NWBC, let me open that. So now you see this NWBC. Fine. So now you see this, I log in. The moment I log in, you see this. This is NWBC page, log NWBC native business client. You see here, these are nothing but a role basically. You see this MDG BP. BP stands for business partner role. Okay. So now this is display role. This is menu role. This is requester role. This is data steward role. Different role. The standard roles SAP has given. So now MDG C stands for customer. This is a customer specific role. The display role is there. Some menu role is there. Requester role is there, right? So now if you scroll down here, MDG F stands for finance. All the finance, SEC month account, GL account, if you want to create, this is the role you have, right? So now controlling data, you see this controlling data you have, controlling data with cost center, controlling section, if you want to create this one role is there. Cost center, you see this MDGF cost center, all the cost center specific roles you have. Okay, so now MDGM nothing but a material role is there, material specific role is there. Okay, so MDGH nothing but a supplier role is there. So now in MDG, we don't have T code, right? But in case of MDG, SAP has given the role basically. Suppose you want to create a material master, right? You want only to material master, you want to work basically. So you need to have all the material specific role need to be tagged to your user IDs. If all the material specific role need to be tagged to user IDs, then only you are going to create a material master basically. Okay. So if you want to create all the finance role basically, all the finance specific role need to be tagged to your user IDs. If user ID is tagged to this role, then you can create all the finance related activities, cost center, profit center, all this basically. So now so for customer, same thing. So if any master data basically you want to create, they have some specific roles to have. That role need to be tagged to your user ID. So once that role is tagged, then only you can create that master data basically. So now see here. So now you click on the NWC cockpit. This is the cockpit option. Click here. The moment I click on the cockpit button, here we have basically okay. So here you see this, we have basically different tab we have, right? Based upon the role, this is coming. You see this is material governance page, right? So now material governance. If your user ID is tagged to the material specific role, then you will get this material governance, this tab basically. This is known as home page. What we called as home page, and this is known as side panel, which is called a side panel. So home page we have search material, create material, change material, mark pre-listen, okay, mass change, file upload, file download, different activities we have, right? Okay. So similarly, business partner governance. Suppose you want to create a business partner or anything basically, then business partner specific role need to tag to your IDs. Then once the role is tagged, then only you can create a business partner specific stuff. You see these are business partner, different things we have, right? Similarly, customer. So you need to have a customer specific role need to be tagged to user IDs. So no need to remember all of the T code, and that T code generally don't provide authorization in the real-time environment. So only T code we have basically NWC or Fury T codes. So if you want to create a material master, the material specific role need to tag to user IDs. Once that role is tagged, then only you can create that master data basically. Otherwise, you cannot create the master data. This search customer is there, right? So similarly, finance data, if you see this financial accounting governance, you have finance data here, you see this. So here we have GL account, financial reporting structure, company, right? Here different things you have, right? So now if you scroll down here, you see this financial consolidation is there, financial controlling governance is there, right? Controlling we have cost center, profit center, you see this cost center group, cost center hierarchy, profit center group, hierarchy, all the things we have. Okay, so this talks about the consistency. This talks about the consistency. Okay, so in case of ECC, generally we follow all the T code basically for any of the T codes, any of the master data you want to create, change all the things. But in case of MDG, we don't have this T code. We have only one T code, NWC or Fury basically. So if you want to create a material customer, any master touch, that role need to be tagged to user IDs. Once that role is tagged, then only you can create all the master data basically, right? So this talks about the consistency. Okay. So next is basically consolidation. Consolidation basically inbound to SAP system. Now I have told you this is outbound, right? From MDG to other system basically. This is known as outbound. Once master data will be created here, then we need to move the master data to other system for business related activities, right? So here all the transactional activity take place. This is known as MDG as hub deployment, master data governance hub deployment. So now, suppose you have a bulk amount of data or during the time acquisition or merger, you want to bring the data to other system to MDG system, because MDG centralized system, all the master data will be created and operated here. Okay, so now suppose you have different system we have, right? This is one system we have, this is another system we have, right? Different system we have, right? Then the system we have, right? System 1 we have, system 1, system 2, system 3, yes, system 3. So during the time merger acquisition might be different company we have, they have different system we have, right? So you need to bring all the data, all the master data from this system to this system, because this centralized system where all the master data operation take place here. We are not going to maintain any of the master data, all the system basically, okay? So this is a single version of truth, so where the master data will be created and maintained here basically. So now, so how you are going to bring them from this data from here to here basically? So just like MDG is nothing but a master data governance, right? So similarly, there is one more software component SAP has provided known as MDC. We call as MDC. MDC is nothing but a master data consolidation. Master data consolidation. Okay. So MDG is separate license. MDC is separate license. MDG does not come along with MDC. If you want to have MDC, then you can have. Otherwise, no need basically. Okay. So many companies have MDC for inbound movement of data, or some companies they're not using. They're using some other methodologies to import the data basically. So MDC is one of the way we can use this basically. MDG has lots of plus point basically. Generally lots of companies using MDC. So what is MDC? So MDC job is to bring the data from all the system basically. Suppose example I'm giving, suppose you have one customer here, XYZ is one customer here, same customer is also here. Okay, same this is different database, this is separate database, this is a separate database, same customer also XYZ here. Okay, so now whenever you are going to bring that all the data from all the system to this system, right, there might be a chances of duplicate data right here on the system basically. So MDG job is to remove the duplicate data. So how it can be done basically? This is the centralized system, a single version of truth, right? We should avoid creating redundant data, duplicate data on the system. If any issue on the data, it directly impact on the business basically, right? So now MDC has its own methodology basically. MDG has basically match is there, merge is there, merge is there, duplicate check is there, best record calculation. These are the methodology of MDC, best record calculation. Okay, so when we have MDC will see these are the methodology we have. So what MDC will do, it will take the data from all the system, it will match it, merge it, and it will remove the duplicate data, and it will calculate what is the best record basically, right? That record it will move to this system basically, right? So you don't say all the 3 XYZ to this system. If you send that, there might be duplicate data is created here. So on that case, we can use MDC, one of the tool basically. So separate licensing cost is there. So whenever we have MDC, these are the some parts of methodologies of MDC we have: match, merge, duplicate, check, best calculation. So SAP will apply that, match it, merge it, and remove the duplicate. And what is the best records? Then that record will be sent to the EC system. Okay. So this is known as inbound to SAP. Inbound to SAP. This is known as inbound to SAP. So now MDC is one of the way basically, right? So we have different other way to import the data. So MDG has its own way basically. MDG. So if you are using only MDG, right? Company don't use MDC. The separate licensing cost is there. So on that case, SAP is provided DIF, data import framework. Data import framework. Or file upload is there. You have the flat file, you directly upload to MDG system. Flat file upload. Okay. So this is MDC way, this is MDG way, right? So if you don't want to use this way, suppose this way, we need to have a governance. Physical governance means, so you are going to upload this here, someone is going to govern them, someone is going to approve them, right? Then once you approve, data will save on the backend table, right? So the other way also is the ECC way also is there. If you want to use instead of governance, right? Initial load basically the bulk amount of data, so no one is going to do governance initial load, right? They're actually dumping into the backend ECC table basically. So on that case, we can use different method. Other way basically we can use basically we have LSMW, LSMW, LTMC, HANA based tool, LTMC, or file, or basically it's BAPI or BDC, anything you can use, right? So these way basically we don't have governance mechanism, right? No one is going to govern them. Initial load, because bulk count data are there, we can directly dump to ECC tables, right? But if you want to govern them, we can either go to MDC. MDC has own mechanism. So generally lots of companies are following MDC way basically. So now, or MDG way. MDG also governance basically. So if you're going to load them, it would go to the governance process. Once all the approval approved, then data shown in the backend table. Okay, so this is known as MDC. MDC is nothing but a master data consolidation. This is inbound to SAP. Inbound to SAP. You have a bulk computer data. You want to bring the data to MDG for governance process, right? So next step is governance process, and this is known as MDG, master data governance. So whenever any master data will be created here, we'll move data from here to here for business activities. Okay. So team, clear on this? Any question? Any doubt here?
I have a question. Is MDC, is that a tool on its own? Does it, MDG needs to, can it operate on its own?
Yes, MDG can operate its own separate license software component is there. MDC is separate software component is there. Okay, so both are different. Both the separate licensing is there basically.
So is there like a separate SAP course on MDC also?
No. Same course. Yeah. Okay, the MDC is only is a file uploading kind of things, data quality kind of things. Okay, so only once you upload that, the next job is for MDG, right? So once you upload data from here to here, the job is done basically. Next is basically MDG comes into picture. So MDG basically next process, basically all the governance things, let's create or any operation you want to perform, you need to do through MDG way basically. Okay, clear?
Okay, thanks.
Okay, fine. Any other question, team? Anyone clear? Fine. So no questions. So now next is basically, sorry. So here next is basically integration, right? Integration. So what is integration talks about? So integration talks about basically, okay. So now we have seen one integration approach, right? So MDG can connect to other system. So one is SAP to SAP. This is one integration approach. How they're connecting? They can connect to data replication, basically IDOC web services. We can move the data from here to here. So we can move the data from here to non-SAP to SAP is one integration. SAP to non-SAP is one integration. Non-SAP, So now web services are there, right? So what services are there? This point-to-point communication, right? So we can directly connect from here to here. Okay. If you want to have a middleware kind of things, right? Suppose your client middleware kind of things, if you want to have basically, okay, you can have that middleware. So middleware. Okay, we have XIPI with lots of middleware we have, right? XIPI we have. So now we are sending data from MDG to this middleware. Middleware job is to convert the data to readable format on a SAP system, right? So this, from here to data sent here basically. Okay, so instead of using middleware, can you directly show our web services? Web services nothing but point-to-point communication, right? So you can use that. So now this is one integration approach from SAP to SAP's, SAP to non-SAP, one integration approach, right? So now we can connect MDG to external system basically. So there are lots of external system or external system. If you want to connect, you can connect that. Okay. The one system example I'm giving that is known as DNB, right? DNB, if you know the name, Duns and Bradstreet basically. So DNB. So DNB, one of the separate company there, right? They maintain the valid vendor and customer details, right? All the vendor customer information they maintain, the vendor address, vendor bank or vendor telephone number, fax number, customer, all the things basically, right? So if the company want to do some business with vendor customer, right? They want to validate that vendor, if vendor is correct, good or anything, any is blocked basically, anything basically issue the vendor, right? So they need to maintain the KYC, they need to validate the vendor. So instead of that, they can directly approach to DNB basically, right? DNB, the company, they maintain all the valid information of vendor basically. So now, so you can connect MDG to DNB basically. Okay, there might be some APIs we have, enrichment framework, enrichment options we have. We need to connect MDG to DNB. So whenever you are creating a material, right, or vendor basically, the n number of field, more than 200 number of fields we have, right? We need to fill. So generally, what we do basically is in real time, we enter limited amount of data. Might be we enter the customer name, customer country or region basically. Okay, these three fields we enter, right? Then we hit directly to DNB. Okay, directly hit to DNB, right? So now once you hit to DNB, then it will bring all the data from the DNB to the ECC system into MDG screen basically, right? Customer complete address information, customer bank information, customer telephone, what are the information you need? It will bring from this layer to this layer basically, right? It will bring from this layer to this layer. Okay, so this is done by the enrichment option, enrichment point we have, we can do that basically. So MDG can connect to here to here. By using this, we can increase the quality of data. See this, by using three fields, by entering only customer name or customer country region, directly hit to the DNB server and bring all the information of vendor and customer to the backend to MDG screen basically. So now once you press enter, all the information, all the address information, all the bank information, all the telephone, fax number will fill automatically. No need to do manual basically. Okay. By using this, we can increase the quality of data, right? So basically manual intervention always end with error something, my mistakes and some error data, right? So now this can be done through integration basically, right? DNB is there. So we have Vertex is one of the integration we have. Vertex is there. Vertex. So what is the use of Vertex? Vertex is for tax jurisdiction basically, right? So some company, some country have tax jurisdiction. US we have different country, different region, different state. We have different tax jurisdiction, right? So whenever you enter the address information, right? So suppose you enter the country or region, directly hit to the DN Vertex system, it will populate all the tax jurisdiction code associated with that region basically to the MDG screen basically. Okay, so this is for tax jurisdiction. Okay, we have address services there, address services also is there. So different external system, if you want to connect to MDG, you can connect that. This is used to enriching your master data. You are doing enriching master data, right? So by using this, we are going to enrich your master data with additional information basically. Address services, right? These address services are used to maintain the standardized address across all the customer vendor you have created, right? Suppose one person create a customer or some example I'm giving. So 12th Avenue is the written 12th Avenue, right? 12th Avian written, right? Avian. Another person creating same custom, other customer but written 12th Avenue, right? AVENEUE. So now The job of address services is to use to maintain the standardized address across all the customer vendors. Then the moment you enter the short form or long form, basically directly to address services system, it will bring the address that is maintained, a standard address maintained there, and bring back to MDG screen basically. Okay, this is the job of address services. It is used to maintain the standardized address across all the customer vendor basically. Okay, so these are the different external system. If you want to connect to MDG, you can do that. This is basically used to enrich your master data basically. Okay, enriching master data. Okay, so this is, we can connect SAP to SAP, we can connect SAP to non-SAP, we can connect SAP to external system, enriching your master data basically. Okay, so these are the different integration scenarios we have basically MDG basically, right?
I have a question.
Yes.
So the systems that you have listed, are those like standard available when you purchase the MDG license? Like those
No,
integration is automatically connected, or?
no, we need the separate licensing. If you want to hit the DNB server, there might be some charges are there per heat or per month charges they have, right? So you need to procure that. Basically, you need to have payment for that. What takes also similarly some charges they have basically. Address service external system, right? Some payment will be there basically. So might be weekly or monthly payment are there basically. The moment or per hit you are clicking hit basically, right? So moment you hit that server, you need to pay something basically, right? That is the
So,
cost basically. Have.
so for DNB, right? They have like hundreds of fields, right? That they have about vendor. So when we purchase that license and connect to the DNB integration, do we have to like create custom fields in MDG for everything that DNB provides, or is it automatically provided in MDG?
Custom field if you need. Okay, so custom field if you need that custom field, it is not available on VG, right? In standard, suppose you are need a customer KNA1 table, right? That custom field it does not have in KNA1 table, but your client need that. On that case, you go ahead and create a custom fields. If not needed, you don't do. So if the custom field is needed basically for your business basically, then if you want to have, then you go ahead and create add a custom field on KNA1 table. Lots of things we have KN1 table, data model, lots of things. Then you to add that field here. Then you need to bring the information from here to here basically. If field will have, then only you need to bring the information. If you don't have, no need basically.
So for every attribute that DNB provides, if we don't have, we have to create custom fields in MDG then.
Yes, correct. So custom field, see address we have complete, right? Address if you're going to have address, country, street, or postal code, all the information available, or telephone number, fax number, field is given, right? So any of the field is not available. Suppose example I'm giving tax number, example I'm giving is not available here. It is available here, not available here. Okay. On that case, we need to add tax number field here. Then you need to bring in data from here to here basically. So maximum fields are available here. If any of the field you don't find, then you do the custom enhancement.
Oh, okay. Right. Okay.
Okay. Okay, fine. So this is basically integration, right? So next is basically flexibility. What is flexibility, team? So currently SAP has provided out of the box three data model. One is BP. BP stands for business partner. Out of the box, out of the box, SAP has provided three data model. Okay, SAP has provided three data model. Okay, one is BP. BP for business partner. Business partner. Customer vendor, customer and vendor, vendor, and for material master, and 0G for all the finance activities, basically GL. We have cost center group, cost center hierarchies, profit center group, profit center hierarchies, cost element. Okay, so different cost element group, cost element hierarchies. We have company, different thing here, right? So when you have MDG license, these are the out of the box SAP has given basically. Okay, so you can govern them basically. But we have other master data we have, right? Asset master is there, right? Or fixed asset is there. Bank master is there. Okay, purchase info record is there, right? These are also master data. For these master data, SAP has not given any data model for that. Okay, if the client need that, I want to govern that master data also, I want to govern fixed asset or asset master or bank master or purchasing for record. So what SAP say that SAP is flexible enough that you go ahead and create your own custom data modeling, custom UI modeling, custom process modeling, will complete end-to-end solution. You can do that. Okay, that is the way SAP is flexible. So out of the box, the 3 data model SAP is given. If you want to design an additional data model for your business purpose, okay, for your governance purpose, basically, you can go ahead and design the data model. In our session, basically, okay, teaching or coaching, basically, we'll see how to create a custom data model. I'll show you how to design that basically end-to-end process. Okay, so that is the way it's very flexible, right? Next is data quality. The data quality already explained one of the way basically. This is one of the way we can increase the quality of data, right? So we can connect MDG to other system, external system to increase the quality data, right? By entering few field here, we can directly hit to DNB server or take any system, bring the data from here to here basically. Okay, this is basically one of the way to increase the quality of data, right? So other way we have duplicate check is there, right? Duplicate check is just a configuration kind of thing, nothing can be okay, only configuration, no coding, nothing is going to do basically. So suppose example I'm giving, you have already created one customer known as XYZ. Okay, duplicate check you can set on the field level, you can check basically. So currently what I've done, I have set for bank, basic bank key, bank key, bank key, bank country, CTR, account number, right? Country, account, bank account. Okay, on this key field I created a duplicate check, right? So I created a customer with one bank key, suppose bank key 001, bank key some example 001, and bank country IN, bank account something number. Okay, so now if I'm going to enter customer 11, okay, same information I'm going to create, right? Now customer is number is different but same information, right? So now it means you're going to create a duplicate records basically in the table. So already one customer exists with same information. If you're going to create this means you're setting a duplicate record on the table basically. Might be customer number will be different, it's fine, but bank is same. Okay, we can set a duplicate based upon the field level, we can set that. Okay, so now I have set duplicate based upon the bank country, bank key, bank account number, right? These 3 fields. So now if I'm going to create another customer, same information, directly SAP will check that, yeah, this is the vendor already exists basically. So it will give a pop-up screen on the MDG. Okay, so and so duplicate vendor exists on the table level. If you want to use it, you can use it, or if you want to proceed further, you can do that. So that is the way we can control and increase the quality of data basically. One is duplicate check is there, right? This is duplicate check, and one we have, we can connect MDG. Okay. Any question? Anything clear, team? Okay.
So what is the difference between this and the MDC duplicate thing you talked about?
MDC has own mechanism. MDC basically a bulk data. Basically, you can have a bulk like thousands of records. So here basically single processing. Here we have single processing means at a point of time you are going to create only one data. Single processing. One data means one customer you are going to create. One customer you have created. This customer saved in the table level, right? If you are going to create another customer, same information, you check the database table and say, yeah, this customer exists, right? MDC we have basically bulk count of data basically.
So MDC is probably more useful when we do like a conversion, that kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Once again, Ashwin.
So is MDC more useful when we do like a conversion, that kind of thing?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. That is the reason is lots of company use MDC because we have file upload. It can increase the quality of data, right? Duplicate check is much more good basically. That is the way lots of company are using MDC. Even separate licensing cost is there, but they're using this basically MDC with a mass processing and data quality tool. Basically, you can say that this one.
Okay.
Clear? So now, so next is basically so clear. So now next is basically deployment option, right? So one is hub deployment, one is co-deployment. So hub deployment already I explained you. How in case of hub deployment, MDG is completely separate box. Okay, so where master data will be created operated here, right? So what is co-deployment? So in case of co-deployment, suppose you are working the client don't have multiple systems, they have only one system and they don't have multiple scattered business. Basically on the same system they are going to create a master data and master data, right? So now, so clients say they don't want to have additional system, means they have different licensing cost, additional cost will be there. Okay, so additional cost, licensing cost, additional hardware cost, all those things involved, right? So now what the client say, on the same system, existing system, so I have master data is there and transfer data is there, both the things are there. I want to install MDG as a separate component here on the existing running system. So SAP has given that approach also. Okay, so that is known as co-deployment. Here you see this. So now once we install MDG, basically right? So now, so what we are going to do, so no master data we are going to create here. All the master data that is created and operated here, we need to stop them. So once you have MDG, all the master data we are going to create through here, through NWC or Fiori apps basically. Once master data will be created here, then the data, we have staging area concept here also, then data will move to the backend table, right? Backend table. Okay. Once the data is here, then whenever you are going to create any purchase or sales data, you need to use the data and create that. So on this system, we are going to create both the master data and the translator on the same system. We are creating that. But in case of hub deployment, MDG is a completely separate box for master data created and operated here. But MDC, only one system basically is where both the master data and translator created here. Okay, so this is hub deployment, co-deployment, right? There are some pros and cons. We have pros basically. So in hub deployment, independent speed of innovation for new SAP MDG capabilities. So clear system records. Obviously, see this is completely free system, right? You are going to build. Okay, so whenever you are going to load the initial data, right, we can use MDC tool or some tools basically to remove the redundant data or all the things. So it's a clear system record, right? We need to move data from here basically. Okay, clear. So now allow fresh start with clean data. Okay, so obviously, so clear system records, completed things basically. These are some pros are there basically for hub deployment. So cons are there basically. Separate HANA database system requires MDG required, right? So now, so if you're using additional system, means additional database, additional software component, additional licensing costs involved, right? These things. So now, data migration basically. See, this is a completely fresh system, right? This completely fresh system means, so we need to have a data migration team to move the data. We have multiple system can have, right? This system, previously we were creating master data here, or here we are creating, right? Now we are going to stop the data creation here, master data creation here. You need to bring the master data from all the system to MDG system. So in that case, the data migration team we can use this MDC or MDG way or ECC way to move the data from to here basically. Okay, fine. So this is basically some pros and cons we have in hub deployment, right? So in case of co-deployment, in case of co-deployment, some pros are there. No replication. You see this? We don't have replication because you have only one system where both the master data and translation data are created, right? Or same system basically. Okay, no replication are there. We don't need to replicate. So here we need to replicate data from here to here. Okay, but here no need to replicate those kind of things. No separate system. Okay, so those hardware we are using, we can use the same hardware. No additional data migrations. No separate HANA database required. Okay, this thing we have, right? And cons we have, MDG upgrade will be dependent as for HANA. You see this? So we have basically, suppose current version of MDG is MDG 2020, the latest version MDG you have, right? So now here, if you're going to do upgrade kind of things, okay, if you're going to upgrade 2021 is coming, future is coming basically, right? If you want to upgrade anything, so any issue on this upgrade, only master data team will be impacted, right? Your business will not be impacted here, right? Business is running as usual basically. So any issues, any kind of thing basically, only master data team will be impacted. But here, if you're going to do upgrade basically, here both the team are involved, both master team and the translator team. So you need to take decision quietly basically whenever you're going to do upgrade basically. Any issues, both the things, both the master data and translator team will impact basically. Okay, so here upgrade make easier basically. Okay, so additional effort needed to clean and consolidate existing data basically. So now here basically already data is there, right? So the same system you are going to load MDG. So already data is there, might be there, duplicate data will be there, redundant data will be there. Okay, so you need to clean the existing data. Okay, on that case, the long run process basically, right? We can use a BODS. Lots of companies using BODS tool or data services tool basically, right? Data store, information store they are using to clean the existing data basically. There's a mechanism they're using to clean the existing data. Okay, so these are the basically hub deployment and co-deployment, right? Okay, so team clear on this? Prasad, Subhendu, Balaji, Prasidhar, Aswin. Any question we have, team? Clear?
Yeah. So regarding the data migration, so what to you said we had tools, right? So if the data is coming from multiple systems, how do we make sure that the data is not corrupted for the same vendor number?
You mean example this one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what we do initially now, there is some, whenever we have MDC basically, SAP will have generates one table known as SRC table, is source table and PRC table we have. Okay, so what initially we do now, we need to pull the data from here, all the system, this system, this system, this system, put the data to this table basically, SRC PRC table. So all the even duplicate data, right? Even we have duplicate XYZ duplicates here. We pull the data from all this layer to pull this table basically. Then MDC comes into picture basically. With MDC we have basically that I told you, we have our own methodology, match, merge, duplicate, check, extract. So once the data is here, the MDC applies own mechanism. It will match it, merge it, and it will do duplicate check and will do that. So once it will do that, it will go to the governance process. Once it will find the best record, that best record will move to the system. So first of all, we need to bring the data from here to here or here. Then we need to apply a governance mechanism. Once it is governed, the data will move to ECC table basically.
So can we write our own rules and our own enhancements in there?
Yes, you can write your own rules. We can create our own rules basically.
Okay.
Okay, so we can create that. Fine. So this is all about the.
So MDG, the technical programming, is it same ABAP based or how is it?
ABAP based. Object oriented ABAP. We have bodies, we have class, we have all the object oriented concept we have. Then ABAP course, ABAP those ABAP consultant, they can generally work on it basically.
Okay.
Okay. Same body validation we have, feeder class with class validation we have. Okay, we can do that basically.
So in this deployment, you talked about the hub deployment and the core deployment, right? What about is there an option for cloud on this?
Cloud is there. Yeah, cloud is there, but it is cloud is there. But recently, it was SAP launched that, but it is not go live basically because none of you are using right now. It's only for you for practice purpose. SAP has given basically. You can log into cloud server, you can practice that, but not sell to the customer till now. It's not done. But going forward, SAP will sell the cloud version of MDG basically.
Okay.
We have one more aggregated cloud version of deployment option coming into near future basically. Already there is in place basically. So you can log into SAP help basically. You can, if you want to test something cloud, you can do that. The operation there only, but none of the customers still it is sell basically. So might be in near future we are going to use cloud deployment basically. Okay, fine. So now this thing are there, right? So any more question, team, or clear? Okay.
Yeah, one question. So
yes,
is it the integration between the systems? Is it only IDOC or is there any other process that we can use?
IDOC or web service. Generally using two things. IDOC, web services basically. Web service is nothing
Oh,
but
web
point
service
to point communication, right? Web service is there. So I
Yeah.
okay. Okay, we can use these two things. Fine. So just quickly, I'll tell you. Okay. So so what is that basically? See this. So now. So how do you know how to install MDG basically? It is a complete fresh system you got, okay? Complete fresh system basically. So you got a requirement to have MDG material you want to install or MDG customer you want to install basically, right? Any of the things you are good, finance you are going to have basically, right? So SAP has given a standard guide basically for that. Okay, always follow the SAP standard guide basically. Okay, so now you see this. So now whenever you are going to install basically MDG, you see this, the two components are there basically. One is foundation component. I'll show you. One is foundation. One is application component. Application component. Okay, foundation nothing but a MDG underscore FND component. FND component. MDG APPL. Okay, APPL. Foundation component is common for all the master tasks. It's common for all master tasks. Master data. Okay. Application component is specific to each master data. It's specific each master data. Okay. So now, suppose you have got requirement to install a customer, right? How to do that? You see this. So you need to go to SAP help. So now here. So what can you do? SAP MDG M. Okay. So now you see this M the config guide. Okay. First of all, 2021 config guide. Okay. So now we need to download the config guide basically to SAP help or something. Okay, so let me show you how to do that basically. This YouTube one, leave it. This one might be. Okay, so one, not this one. So we will check that basically SAP help. Not this one might be. No, not this one. SAP MD might be this one. Let's see that. Okay, yeah. Okay, so now see this here we have MDG 9.2. You see this master data govern 9.2 for material. Okay, so 9.2. Let me have it not coming. Is master data configuration MDG M 9.2. Okay, you see this SAP MD master data governance upgrade guide basically 9.2 or configuration material master, right? Let me open that link basically. Okay, here. Okay, here you see this page you can download PDF basically. Okay, so this is a configuration guide. Everything we have basically. So based upon the version, which version you are going to load basically. So 8, if you're going to have 8, separate config guide is there. 9, separate config guide is there. 9.2, separate config guide is there. Okay, so now see this one guide I've opened. This is the config guide to 9.2 basically. Okay, so now, so these are the first things, basic stream we have to activate basically, right? So now I've told you one is foundation component, one is application component. These are nothing but a business function. Okay, we have different business function, right? So now T code is SFW5. This is a T code to activate business function. To activate business function basically, right? So now, so what is that? We have two components we have, right? One is MDG FND, one is MDG FPPL, right? So now let me log into SAP. I'll show you. Okay, so now MDG, IMG. Okay, no, sorry, what is the T code? SFW5, right? The switch framework customizing basically. So now this initial things, initial configuration before we are going to have into MDG basically. Okay, so we need to activate that. Okay, so this activity is done by the basis team. So now clicking continue. So now what the T code? MDG underscore FND, right? FND. Okay, you see this? Nothing but a foundation component. See this foundation. This is first of all, then activate this one. There 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 is nothing but MDG 1909. Okay, 9. Okay, so now these are the foundation component. Okay, MDG FND. This is common for all the master tasks. Okay, just like SPRO is the T code is there for customizing kind of things. Okay, all the customizing. Similarly, we have T code known as MDG IMG class for MDG IMG. All the configuration related to MDG IMG basically. Okay, so these things you can also go through the SPRO. The path is there, long path is there. You can also go to SPRO, but T code is, remember, MDG, IMG, the T code. We'll go more again into this basically. So now MDG, IMG, the T code where you do all the configurations related to MDG basically. Okay. So this general setting tab, okay, general setting tab is common for all the master tabs. See this data modeling, UI modeling, process modeling, all the things you have. Okay, this is common for all the master tabs. The moment you activate this component, foundation component, okay, this general setting tab will come basically. Okay, okay. The next we have, suppose you want to work on the material master. Okay, your client says that only per time we want to govern the material master. Okay, so in that case we need to activate the application component. Okay, this is the application component. This one, you see this MDG APPL. The material means this one, all the component you are going to activate. So if you activate the application, then this component appears, central material appear. This one. And so now, suppose you want to work on the finance, okay? Finance issue, finance supplier issue, this supplier component is there, customer component is there, okay? The professional business partner component is there, right? So these are the application component specific to each master data we are going to activate. The moment you activate that, based upon that, this will come. So if you activate supplier will come, business partner will come, customer will come, material will come. Okay, finance will come. So this is not an application component part. This is foundation component. Foundation component is common for all the master data basically. Okay, common for all the master data. Okay, so now it's here. So now if you see this, so this one, if you scroll down here, okay, so here we have scroll down here. So basically, let me show you. So data model. So now next is BC set. Okay, so just like SAPMDG, some business activities, business function, we activate that. Okay, similarly, there are some BC sets are there basically. It's business configuration set we have. We need to activate basically. Okay, BC sets. So T code, if you know that BC set T code, some T code is there basically. Let me open that. SICF, right? Something. Okay, here. No, SICF. Look, one. Let me show you anything is there. First of all, download that, easier for you. So if you download that, right, easier for you basically. Let me download. It will take lots of time basically. Yeah? So I download. Okay, here you see this. Here we have document, right? So here you see this. So we have got the document. Download that document. Okay, here you see this. So first of all, we activate the services function, right? Next is basically activate the services. You see this, maintain the services. So now you know the T code SICF services to activate services. You see this. There are more than 80 to 90 services are there we need to activate basically. Okay, so MDGC customer, MDG supplier, MDGB business partner. Okay, the service related to the BP. MDGM material master, MDGA finance, okay, the controlling, right? These are services are there. Tick means you need to activate the services. If you're going to have material master, activate these services. Okay, if you're going to have with BP, activate these are the services are there. Okay, now how to do that? You see this, and now go to SICF/N SICF. So these services are there, right? So now what is our service name? I'll show you APP launchpad, right? APP launchpad. Execute. Now see this. The services is done with the basic stream, but you need to guide them how the services need to be activated. Okay, so you need to download through SAP help. So which services are there? We need to guide them basically. So now right click here. So now this is already activated, right? So I don't want to do anything. If double click here also, you see this is activate basically. Okay, so these are the services. See, this lots of services are there basically. You need to activate. You see this lots of services are there. For which master data you are going to have, that is the way we need to activate the services first of all. Okay, instantly. Okay, so once we activate the services, the next business function already I told you, business function SAPMDG5, we need to activate that. So once you do that, your system is ready now. Okay, your system is ready. Okay, now you need to do all the things basically. So now, so you are done. Okay, so we activate business function. See, okay, I've explained this thing to you, right? The next is basically, see, this is the high level architecture of MDG basically. So now this is, you know that, so we have ECC, I told you in the backend. The top of this is we have MDG. MDG, you have different data model, material, finance, business partner, and custom object, different data model we have. We have concept user interface modeling, role, what some different things we have, workflow, staging areas, validation, change request, lots of things we have, right? We can connect MDG to NWBC. This is the NWBC portal or Fury apps basically. You can connect that. Okay, we can connect MDG to other system, ERP, CRM, SRM, hybrids, all system third party. We can connect that inbound. Okay, so we can have information steward, data steward, different things to connect here. So this is basically high level architecture of MDG basically, right? So different data model we have. If you want to bring a custom data model, you can also do that. Okay, how to work on user interface modeling, workflow, all the things you can do that. Okay, so now next is basically I explain this later on. So next is basically see this. So out of the box, SAP I given 3 data model. I've already told you. One is finance, right? Finance we have GL account, we have cost center, group, hierarchy, cost element. Okay, so all the things we have. If you are using material, these things we have, and supplier customer we have BP business partner, right? We have these things. So when you have MDG license, these 3 data model out of the box SAP is given, but the different other company are there basically. Utopia might be another name, so they also manufacture, they also design the master data product basically. They sell their product through SAP. They don't sell directly, they sell their master data product through SAP. Utopia product is basically designed 2 master data. One is enterprise asset management, one is retail and fashion management. So bill of material, right? So asset master, fixed asset design their product basically. If you want to govern them, if a client says that I want to have asset master, instead of creating custom one, you can directly approach the separate licensing cost team. This is for separate licensing cost is there. Okay. As I, they already designed product by Utopia. If you want to make use of that, you can use that. On enterprise asset management, retail and fashion management. Okay, these 2 products are from SAP Utopia side. Separate licensing cost is there. You need to procure from SAP basically. Okay. So these are the out of the box. These are the 3 are the out of the box data model SAP has given, and these are the 2 Utopia product is there. Okay. So any question, team? So we are done from the basic things. Any question? Any doubt, team? Anyone have? Clear? Srini Prasad, Balaji, Subhendu, Sasidhar. Any question, team?
Yeah, so the classification attributes, right? So they also
Yes.
will be automatically mapped.
Yes, classification is there. Yes, classification there. So classification is there in material case. But vendor customer also we have a classification, right? They have in MDG. If you take 9.2 above, we have classification of business partner, vendor customer is there. SAP added new things basically to the based upon the version they added. If you take the older version 8 or something 7 below that, no classification are there. They added in case of BP or material customer case. So the enhancement SAP is doing, that is the reason SAP is bringing new version basically. So current version is 2020. So 2021 is going to have basically, yeah.
Oh, it's going to have all the classification there.
Yes, yes. Currently also, if you take 2020, all the classification are there basically. Okay, current version 1909 from 1909, we have the classification. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So below 9.2 we don't have classification, so not there. Basically 8, you see the 8 or the classification not there. In case of supplier customer also have classification, right? They don't have. If you go to higher version, SAP added new things basically, new enhancement SAP done. So always if you complete the press system, then you need to have take a higher version of MDG 2020 or 2021. That version take that, because if you take that, new things you'll get that basically.
What about the text that we maintain in the vendor master, like different text types? Those can those be transferred?
Yeah, that is also there. That is also there in above MDG 9.2. If you take MDG 8, we don't have text basically. SAP has not included text. But above 9.2, we have a vendor text supply. We have a company code text or supply sales area text or different text we have, right? Long text we have. SAP has included that in case of higher version. For same lower version, it's not there. SAP is not there. But higher version, if you take that, SAP added that also.
Okay.
We have onloading point is also one of the things, the customer onloading point, that is also there in higher version basically. Okay, so any question? So I am done from today's session. So this is about the demo session basically. So next class we'll see the data modeling basically. If you have, we'll see the data model, so how the data model SAP design basically, and different kinds of data model. Okay, team. Any question?
So
Yes.
this is, so you're continuing this, or is this session over?
This session over. Today's session over.
So is this just an introduction thing, or is this part of the MDG curriculum that you talked
It
about?
is a part of, yeah, it is a part of MDG curriculum basically. Introduction, you can say introduction or MDG basis overview and architecture overview. Okay, so I've given some knowledge what is MDG or the overview, what is deployment option, different things I given, right? Next thing is basically platform data modeling. Okay, so this is very important so that you know the clear picture, what is MDG, what are different deployment options are there, what is staging area concept, how governance is done. Okay, so the next part is data modeling. We start from data modeling.
What is your name, sir? It doesn't
Riyaj,
say.
Riyaj,
Ariyaj? Okay.
Riyaj.
Okay.
Okay, so
Arias, we'll be also talking about WebDin Pros and all that stuff, right?
yeah, WebDriven Pro, see, I'll tell UI modeling, the course is there. So what is needed, I'll tell you basically. We are not going to design and build WebDriven Pro basically in case of MDG. So all the complete UI modeling, not only configuration. So basically, then functional team can work on that. So no coding, nothing else basically. You are not going to build a custom WebDriven Pro. Okay, so what are the
Yeah,
SAP
yeah.
standard is there? We'll use that.
So you would tell us also what baddies and
Yes,
enhancements
yes,
are
yes,
also available and all
yes,
that stuff, right?
yes,
Yeah.
yes. This topic is there. Okay, we'll see that.
So, your course, what's are you gonna do the weekday thing or the weekend thing? What is your?
We will go for weekend basically. Weekdays already one batch is going on, morning batch is going on basically. Uh, so that is the reason we go for weekdays weekend basically. Yeah.
So weekend. So would it be like this? Each Saturday and Sunday would be 1 hour each. Is that how you plan to do it, or?
Yeah, it's 2 hours each. 2 hour each. 2 hour per day. Saturday Sunday each day 2 hours.
Oh, each day 2 hours. Okay. So it'll take like 9 weeks then, right, to finish 36 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, 40 hours. Almost 2 months. You can say that yes.
Okay. Is there MDG certification from SAP or?
Yes, is there. MDG certificate is there basically.
Okay.
So after this course is done, we should be able to take the certification, right?
Yes, you can take. You can able to take certification.
Okay.
Okay, for certification also we have some dump also that will provide that also. So if you need that help, it will great help for you also dump kind of things we have.
So this data model class, you have one again tomorrow, or what is the schedule?
So today is Sunday, right? So we'll see on the next week basically. So Saturday, Sunday we'll plan.
Okay.
Okay.
And the server access and all, they'll provide, right? Same.
Yeah. Yes, we'll provide.
Okay.
Okay then, if nothing else, we can close the session, team. Good.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks a lot, team. Thank you. Thanks for joining.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.